What's up, everybody? Last week we got our mid-season update to the last season of Warzone and Vanguard before we get Warzone 2, Modern Warfare 2. And as usual, I uploaded my top 10 loadouts yesterday, exactly a week after the big update. I'll link that down below if you want to check that out. And then, just like always, today I'm going to go ahead and go over my top 10 long-range options. Normally in the past, I had split it 50-50, 5 LMGs, 5 ARs, or 30-70 with 3 LMGs, 7 ARs. But if you watched my loadout video, you know there's a couple LMGs at the top of the list for loadouts. And since they are beating out ARs, I figured I would just do a whole list, which, spoiler alert, means there's only those 2 LMGs, I think, on the list. But that's only one less than usual. So with that all being said, let's go ahead and jump into my top 10 long-range options at this point in Warzone. Okay, let's start off at number 10. This was actually a surprise to me. Number 10, we have the STG. Up until recently, I was touting it as maybe the best AR in Warzone. It's still a really good AR. I mean, it still is top 10 out of, I don't know, the 50, 60 ARs and LMGs we have. But when you actually look at time to kill, it just has a slower time to kill than like all of the meta and previously meta Cold War ARs. It's not really competitive with the Kilo and the Grau. And really, if I wanted to, I could have kept this off the list. Spoiler, there's no M13 on this list. There's no Cold War AK on this list. Those both could have been on there. The Krig has an argument over this as well. But the big things that keep it on this list are 10 attachments, the tiniest amount of recoil that Vanguard guns have, and then you have the best optic as a 3-6 variable zoom, which obviously is not the case on Modern Warfare and Cold War guns. So this still ended up on the list. It's the same loadout. We've always had the MX silencer, the 760 barrel, the 3-6 times your choice of optic, weighted stock, hand stop, strife angled carver, whatever your choice is, Granko 50 round mag, lengthened, hatch grip. Acrobatic or vital. Vital will help that time to kill that I was just talking about, but I like getting that extra movement speed in my AR just in case I'm forced to rotate with it in my hand. And then on hand for that quicker ADS. At number 9, we have the Kilo. I'm so glad that the Kilo keeps ending up on these lists. With the weapon changes recently, it has moved down the list a bit. And like I said, this could have been number 10, and we could have had like the Cold War AK somewhere on this list, which we don't. But it's the same loadout we've always ran: monolithic suppressor, 90-point-inch prowler barrel, VOK optic. Make sure you go to reticle, change it to that T-pose if you got it. Commando foregrip, 60-round mag. You can run the 50 for slightly faster ADS, but you're not getting enough of a benefit to get rid of those 10 bullets. Number 8 is the Grau. The Grau I have set up as the Iron Sight Grau because that Archangel barrel is so easy to use. And like the clearest Iron Sights ever in Warzone. But obviously, if you want to use an optic, we drop the tac laser, we go down to the VOK 3 times, and we switch it to the T-pose reticle. But otherwise, monolithic suppressor, Archangel barrel, tac laser, Commando foregrip, 60-round mag, just like it's always been when you use the Iron Sights. And of course, like I said, switch out the tac laser for the VOK 3 times. Number 7 is the Automaton. The Automaton actually does beat out the STG by a little bit. And really, you could argue that this should be behind the Grau and the Kilo. But for the same reasons that the STG are still on the list, you have the 10 attachments, the little bit of tiny recoil that you get with Vanguard guns because of those 10 attachments, the best optic being the 3-6 times, and then the reason why it scoots ahead of the Grau and Kilo in my mind is better movement out of Vanguard guns. And also, you have a 75-round drum versus the 60-round mags on the Kilo and on the Grau. But it's the same loadout as always: MX silencer, 600mm barrel, your choice of optic, Anastasia padded, hand stop or carver. There is no strife angled on the Automaton. 75-round drum, lengthened, polymer grip, tight grip on hand. Once again, the Anastasia padded, the polymer, and the tight grip are all on there to stack the sustained recoil. When you can stack the sustained recoil, it's usually worth it. There's a few cases of guns where like it's more worth it to stack initial firing recoil, but stack sustained while you can. Number 6, we have the Pharah. The Pharah, if you've watched any of my previous videos, back especially in the Cold War days, always been one of my favorites. Always loved this gun. me personally, emotionally wanted to put it even higher on this list, but it does have a slower ADS, slower reload than some of the other Cold War guns, but it is killing faster right now than most of the Vanguard ARs. And it's a typical Cold War loadout: Grau suppressor, Spetsnaz RPK barrel, axe arms 3 times, Spetsnaz grip, and 60 round mag. At number 5, we have the Vargo. I debated putting this behind the Pharah because the Vargo, of any of the Cold War ARs that are going to be on this list, does have probably the most recoil. And it's more horizontal than any of the other Cold War guns, but vertically it's pretty much the same. It's the same loadout as usual: Grau suppressor, task force barrel, axe arms 3 times, Spetsnaz 60 round. I have the Spetsnaz grip. There is an argument for the Spetsnaz speed grip because that helps more with horizontal recoil than the Spetsnaz grip, which helps with horizontal and vertical recoil. But it's kind of dealer's choice. Like I said, this does have more horizontal recoil than the other Cold War ARs, so that might be what you choose to go with, but I like getting the overall recoil control help in both directions when it's not worlds better. It's not like the speed grip completely eliminates horizontal recoil. From there at number 4, we have the XM4. Now, once again, depending on your preference, you could have put the Cold War AK in any of these Cold War AR slots, as well as the EM2 still up there. The Krig kind of has an argument as well. But the XM4 just feels really good right now. I was using it a lot last night, and I was really enjoying it. And it's the same usual loadout: agent suppressor, task force barrel, axe arms 3 times, field agent 4 grip, Stanag 60 round. There is an argument for speed grip on all of the Cold War guns, but it's really more useful on the Vargo that has more horizontal recoil. The XM4 doesn't have really much horizontal recoil at all. Number 3, we have the UGM8. Big reason why this isn't number 1 is the number 1, which if you watched my loadout video yesterday, you're going to know what that is, has a really high headshot multiplier, which I forgot to mention yesterday, as well as the best mag is 45 rounds, so it takes way less time to reload. But it's the same loadout we've been preaching: the MX silencer, the 7.36mm barrel, the SVT 40 3 to 6 times, or your choice of optic, the Mercier WT stock, the strife angled carver or hand stop depending on your preference, the 6.5mm 100 round box, lengthened polymer grip, tight grip, and on hand. Once again, we're stacking that Mercier polymer and tight grip to stack that sustained recoil benefit. And if you want to run it as the burst, just a reminder, it's the 560mm barrel, stippled grip, the tack wire or Forte 7. The tack wire I think helps a little more with initial firing recoil, but the Forte helps with aim down sight speed, and then you would switch to brace for that initial firing recoil, and then everything else would be the exact same. And then from there, number 2, we have the Cooper. The Cooper, it does run out of ammo like the M13, but it's got no recoil. It's got a faster time to kill than any of the ARs on this list. Only the 2 LMGs beat it out, but I did put it ahead of the UGM because it has the AR mobility. It's better up close than the UGM, and it's just a good gun. I'm not the biggest fan always of the Cooper, but it's undeniable that it's got the best time to kill of the Vanguard ARs. And it's the same loadout as always: MX silencer, Cooper custom barrel, your choice of optic, Cooper custom padded, strife angled, carver, hand stop, whatever you prefer, 9mm 60 round drums, lengthened, polymer, tight grip, on hand. Once again, we're combining polymer, Cooper custom padded, and tight grip for that stack sustained recoil benefit. And number 1, if you watched my video yesterday, you already knew it was going to be the Whitley. The Whitley is the best long-range option right now. It's got an insane headshot multiplier, which makes its time to kill just disgusting. If you're hitting all chest shots, it's got an almost same time to kill as the Whitley, and then you get the 45-round mag, which is much quicker to reload. This thing's an absolute laser beam, no recoil, crazy headshot multiplier, fairly quick reload. It's Vanguard, so for an LMG, the movement's not too bad. Definitely the best option for long range right now. But it's the same loadout as I talked about yesterday: the MX silencer, the Gracie MK9 barrel. If you want more detail, by the way, of these attachments where I'm just saying, hey, it's the same, it's the same. 1 through 7 were all in my loadout yesterday, and I did a little more in-depth explanation of that. So once again, it's linked down below if you want to check that out. But I have the your choice of optic, the CGC R4 stock, strife angled carver, hand stop, whatever feels best to you. The 303 45 round mag, lengthened, hatch grip, hard scope on hand. There's no sustained recoil stacking here because there's no sustained recoil stock, and there's no tight grip. Sleight of hand is an option, but hard scope helps that recoil control. And when there's not stackable, sustainable recoil control, I go with the hatch grip because it helps overall with recoil the most. And then on hand, of course, for that faster ADS. But those are my top 10 long range options. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and link down my top 10 loadouts below if you want to see me talk about what SMGs are paired. The SMGs mostly, if you just notice them as I scrolled through, were the same as yesterday's. But I did change one or two of the classes up yesterday while I was playing last night. So if you want to check out the full loadouts, check out yesterday's video, link down below. But thank you so much for watching today's video. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell for more. I'm still going to do a short range video. I have some other video ideas possibly in my head. And then whenever we get the Liena 57, that video will get put out on that LMG as well. So hit that notification bell so you know when those are uploaded. And let me know down in the comments below what you think of my top 10 long-range options. Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I smart? Am I dumb? Let me know what you think down below. And as usual, like I said, I'll link that video down below. But with that will also be my TikTok and Instagram, which I post on almost daily. My Twitch, which I've been streaming almost daily. And then my Twitter, which is less gaming heavy. But if you want to check that out, that's also linked down below. But I will see you on Caldera, Rebirth Island, and Fortune's Keep. Get frying. Have a good day. Bye.